everyone. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to this week's episode of GCC's Georgia Chiro Connection. I'm your host, Dr. Kathy, and my guest today, coming from West Point, Georgia, is Dr. Brenton Jones. Hey, Doc, how are you?
I'm well. Good to see you again, Kathy.
Good to see you again. I feel like I was very fortunate. I just got to see you this past weekend down at DE.
I know it was like amazing. Like I haven't seen you in a long time, and then we connected there.
Right.
Spoke some, and then I get to see you again. Awesome.
I love it. I love it. So let's start off right away by just talking a little bit about DE, because for those of you that were not there or did not know, Dr. Dee Dee Umber's wife, Beth, recently passed. And on Friday night, they did a tribute to her. And it was absolutely beautiful to hear everything that so many people had to say. And tell me about your feelings, because I know I was so touched sitting in the back of the room there.
For sure. I was in the front row there, and the big thing I got was just the legacy. You know, her legacy, and I don't really know her. I didn't know her much. I mean, I've seen her at DE some, but I haven't had too many conversations with her. And but just hearing about her legacy and how she just loved people,
Yeah.
that was just amazing.
She always had a smile for everyone, and I kind of felt the same way. I didn't get to know her personally, and one of the people on stage said how in our circle she's known as Dee Dee Umber's wife.
Yes.
But in her circle, Dee Dee is known as Beth's husband. And I thought that was really neat to know that, she had her own impact and her own life. And I think the takeaway there is that we all have a purpose. We all have a vision. We all have a mission of what we want to do with our lives. But it doesn't make one person's any more important or any less important than anybody else's, because everybody serves in their own capacity and everybody gives from their heart in a way that matters to them. And it's so important to honor those differences.
Like in the music circle, that people knew her, Dee Dee was her wife, like you were saying, So you're right. We're all here to have a purpose and to serve, and that organ that she raised money for was just magnificent. I was like, wow, look at those pipes. I mean, just the pictures. I could imagine her playing. I wasn't fortunate enough to hear her.
I know. I wish I would have had the opportunity to have heard that. Sure. Yes. And it again, it's just that reminder that never take anything for granted, because I can remember last year around this same time at DE, just kind of celebrating the Umbers, right? And you have to put things in perspective and never get so content and never get so complacent and never start taking things for granted and never just have an expectation that everything will always be here, because we have to remember to appreciate every person and every little thing that happens in life. One of the things I say to the kids all the time when they'll say something like, it doesn't matter, I remind them everything in life matters. Everything matters. You just have to figure out the priority, but everything matters.
For sure. And don't take it for granted either. Like right now we're seeing Dee Dee able to talk with him, but take it for granted probably. Let's be honest,
Yeah.
He's got so much to share with us that, and when I talk with him, I don't know what questions to ask. You know what I'm saying?
And he's
it's like what do you ask? So I just try to be a sponge, and you're right. He is sharp. I mean, what was he, 90, I think, or something? Over 90?
He's 90. And he never forgets to ask about your kids or your spouse or your practice, and he knows by name. I'm blown away.
For sure. Sharp as a tack. You said it perfectly.
Yeah. And in that way, I think he's so much like Dr. Sid, who would never forget to ask about things and, always remembered that it's about the people that are around you. And I think Dee Dee just really embodies that so much. So it was such a pleasure to be there at this most recent DE. And it was just a reminder of how important connection really is.
For sure.
Yeah.
And when you take it for granted, like I said before, it was like we don't even think about when we go and meet people. Like I met you, and I don't take it for granted though, because who knows when we'll meet again. I mean, we're saying next DE, but never know. Life happens, right?
Right. Or as our Southern patients have taught me, what the saying is, God willing and the creek don't rise, right?
What's so
I've learned that one.
Yeah, what's so funny about that? I was corrected one day. by a patient who said that, or I said them, whatever. I forget who said it first, but they're like, "You know what that stands for? You know what that means?" So I'm asking you, do you know what that means?
Mm-mm. No.
You know, the Lower Wheeling and the Creek, it's not the water, it's the Creek Indians, the Creek Nation. If the Creek Nation don't rise, then we'll see each other soon, you know?
Ah,
Yeah.
see, you learn something every day. I love
For
it.
sure.
I love it.
Yes.
Listen, I learned something because I had to ask you, where is West Point, Georgia? Right? I know
Yeah.
the other West Point, but where's West Point, Georgia?
So it's about 20 minutes south of LaGrange and 45 minutes north of Columbus, right on the west of the Alabama Georgia line on the west side of the state, right in the middle, just about.
Okay. So now my question to you, because I know we have some students that watch this and we've got some experienced docs as well, but how did you decide that that was where you were going to put your roots down?
Well, I'm from LaGrange, went to high school there, know people there, and after high school, after college, went to Life eventually, and after there, went to Woodstock for a moment. It was when I first met you. It was in Woodstock there, so was in Woodstock for a moment. Was in Decatur for a moment, and I met my wife during that time. We weren't married yet, but she's like, "Look, I'm a real estate agent. I have a fantastic following, or people who love her, you know." And she said, "I'm not moving." I was like, "Well, dang, what am I going to do?" If we're going to do this and you're not moving, then I got to find something. And LaGrange, I won't say is super saturated, but they have a few chiropractors already in LaGrange. And in West Point, there was no chiropractors. And even in surrounding cities, only one chiropractor. So I was like, I'll go there. And that's about the time they were building Kia as well, the manufacturing um, cars. And so they're building that. I thought, well, there's going to be industry here. There's going to be people here. And I picked West Point and put roots down and never thought I'd be here, though. You know, I have friends that lived here from high school, you know, even though they lived in West Point, I live in LaGrange, went to the same high school. And so, and now I see them out in the community.
So how long have you been there?
I've been here since 2011. My first day was Valentine's Day, 2011.
Okay, now I have to tell you something because my first day in this building, which my dad built this building for me, was
Uh-huh.
Valentine's Day 2005. Even though I'd been in practice for years
Yeah.
before that, Valentine's Day, there's something magical about that, right? Spread the love,
There-
share the love, give love and serve.
you know, there is. And I'll share another thing we have in common too, Kathy. And because I think it was a CE event I was at.
Uh-oh, did we lose you? He might be getting a call. Uh-oh. Dr. Brenton, if you're there and you're coming back, we'll just I'll tap dance for a little while because we can do that. There he goes. He's coming
Hey,
back.
you there?
Yes, we are.
You there?
Yes, perfect.
Hello?
Yep. Can you hear me? Okay, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello?
I can hear you.
Can you hear
Yes.
me?
Yes. Can you
I
hear
can't
me?
hear.
Okay, I can hear you. So tell your story.
I can't hear anything. But I'll just tell you another event that we have in common was you said that when you went to chiropractic college, you was in your first quarter class and you had to stand up or you had to figure out how you knew chiropractic. Like a lot of people are students, have miracle stories going on in their lives, you know, and that's why they're chiropractors. And you said you used to chiropractic because you want to be a chiropractor. And that's like myself. I had no idea what chiropractic was about. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I just knew that I wanted to be a doctor, and I didn't believe in surgery and don't like blood and guts and the modern medicine way of doing things. You know, so I just knew that, and I want to be a chiropractor. And when I heard the philosophy of chiropractic, it's right up my alley. You know, the body heals itself. The body can heal itself. The body will heal itself. It just needs no interference. And that was right up my alley.
I love it. I don't know.
So
Can you
I
hear
can't
me?
hear you.
Okay. Keep going.
I'm trying to. I don't know what's going on, but I can't hear you. I had an incoming call a while ago, so that was why my phone started messing up. But now, I can't hear.
Okay. All right. So what I'll do is I'm going to take it into our GCC details, and I'm going to talk to everybody about some upcoming events that we have. So August is a busy month for GCC. We've got a couple events coming up. So we have Augusta, August 10th and 11th. There's still time to get registered. Go to georgiachiropractic.org. You can get all 20 of your hours right there. So you can go and join us August 10th and 11th, or you can head to South Georgia CE. That's August 24th, 25th. Now, if you can't make either one of those, join us in Savannah in November or back in the Marietta area for our annual convention. That being said, let me jump over to our Chiro Cup. So we have our 7th annual GCC Chiro Cup coming up. This is our golf tournament where we raise money for important causes like public awareness campaign and a research. We're able to fund some chiropractic research. So we are able to do that by the money that we've raised by doing this Chiro Cup. So if you want to play, if you have some patients or some colleagues who would want to play with us, you can get registered at chirocup.com. If you have a business that wants to sponsor or have a patient or know a business in your community that would like to be a sponsor, we welcome those. We welcome raffle items as well. It is a really great time, great day. We're going to be at the Marietta City Club on Friday, September 13th. So mark your calendar for that. With that being said, we'll go back to Dr. Jones, see if he can hear us. If he can, I'm going to ask him for a patient testimonial. Doc, can you hear me at all? No. All right. Well, with that being said, we're going to say thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Jones. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.